Now we start with session 2 panel discussion, and the topic is Driving Smart Urbanization, focuses on integrating sustainability with infrastructure growth in East India by leveraging innovative urban planning and smart city projects. The aim is to foster sustainable development while addressing the region's urbanization challenges. For this, I kindly request Mr. Pradeep Misra, Chairman and Managing Director, Rudrabhishek Enterprises Limited. Mr. Pradeep leads the firm in delivering innovative solutions in urban planning, infrastructure, and real estate. Under his leadership, REPL has become a key contributor to India's smart city and sustainable development initiatives. Thank you. And now I kindly request Mr. Subir Malhotra, Executive Director, Capacit'e Infraproject. Mr. Subir leads the company in delivering high-rise buildings and urban infrastructure projects. His focus on advanced technologies, quality and sustainability has made Capacit'e a trusted name in India's infrastructure growth. Mr. Manish Satnaliwala, CEO, Capital Infratrust. Please join us. Mr. Manish leads innovative infrastructure projects in real estate, renewable energy, and transportation. His focus on sustainable growth and modern solutions has positioned the company as a key layer in India's infrastructure sector. Now I kindly request Ms. Vidhi from ABP to please come up on the stage and moderate the session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So ABP Live India Infrastructure Conclave, it's a platform that is bringing together experts, industry leaders, policy makers. We're talking about the transformative opportunities in infrastructure and urban development. Our focus is India, and our special emphasis is on the eastern region of India. This is the East edition of India Infrastructure Conclave. And in this session, today we're discussing how we can explore how the eastern region can balance rapid infrastructure growth with sustainability. And in this session, we're joined by Mr. Pradeep Misra, CMD Rudrabhishek Enterprises, an expert in urban planning and consultancy. Mr. Subir Malhotra, Executive Director, Capacit'e Infraproject, known for delivering innovative construction solutions for modern urban infrastructure. Mr. Manish Satnaliwala, CEO, Capital Infratrust, specializing in financing infrastructure projects with a focus on sustainability and smart growth. Thank you so much for joining us in this panel. So I am hoping for a rather insightful session right now, because there's a lot happening when it comes to infrastructure development. So when I start talking about the eastern region, I think the challenge is quite unique. There's dense population and there is legacy construction, infrastructure. So with that challenge, how do we turn that into an opportunity where we can focus on infrastructural development, sustainability with that kind of a challenge? What is your opinion, sir?
Well, if you look at, eastern region part of it, right? The innovation started from Eastern India per se, if you look at it, right? When we talk of infrastructure, the traditional infrastructure comes as roads, railways, and power, basically, correct? But Eastern region, if you see Calcutta, they were the first one to actually embrace metro, right? Metro was the first project started in Calcutta around 20 years back. So Eastern region, from that perspective, they've adopted smart cities, long back part of it, which we are talking about it. But there's a lot of, scope of growth. I still feel that on Eastern India, which can be done basically.
Yeah, if we see from last 70 years, gradually migration from the rural area to the urban area is increasing. And as the economy grow, it keep growing. And not from rural to urban, but from tier 3 to tier 2 and tier 2 to tier 1. The migration is there. The people are coming from all strata, from the top strata as well as the lower strata. So the housing at all level is required. Jobs at all level are required. Internet is now as important as electricity and water.
Correct.
If you have to run your organization, if you have to work, you need net connectivity. So city urban infrastructure is very different than the national level infrastructure. But that should be modern enough, good enough to help in generating the jobs. So, redeveloping or replanning the tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 towns, connectivity between tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 2 and tier 3, flow of economy between these urban centers are very important, and eastern part of India, they are having very vibrant and well-planned tier 2 as well as tier 1 towns. Bhubaneswar is one of the town which is well-planned. Cuttack is old city. West Bengal, there are number of large cities, Kolkata and Siliguri and other big cities. But to harness that potential, it still required lot of work to be done.
It is challenging, and we're hoping to learn what are your examples, what are your insights that everybody can learn from. What is your opinion?
So we had a site, and we were constantly getting labor in, and constantly the standard retort was labor is moving out. Labor आ रहा है, 4 दिन बाद पता करें labor जा रहा है वहाँ से. अरे क्या हो रहा है यार? Why is the labor not looking at site? And you know what the response was? Sir, the internet connection is not good at site. So internet has become as important as water and electricity for the site. Leave aside what companies like us depend on backbone of infrastructure as internet. It's what the labor is now demanding at site. But now to come down to the more serious aspect of it, when you talk about dense legacy infrastructure happening for housing, you have to bank upon technology. There is no other alternative except technology that can take you through this path. We can talk about sustainability, yes, but sustainability has to have a backbone on technology. Let me give you a small example. We are doing at the moment one of the biggest slum redevelopment projects in Mumbai. It's the whole redevelopment of BDD chawls, maybe jails during the British times, which are now being redeveloped as, housing for low cost under PMAY. Tata Projects and us have a JV for more than 13,000 crores at that project over there. And it has technology inside out. The kind of formwork that we use at site gives us 5 slabs a month. The people who are staying in those tenements which are now being dismantled and demolished are the first people who are coming back to us and saying, sir, we want to stay in this place because this is what we want to actually get. So small quarters, 30 square meters, 50 square meters, but the kind of technology that we can use today, that is available in the country today, should be utilized to get through this impediment.
Pradeep sir, you've been instrumental in several urban projects. Do you think a public-private partnership plays a big role when it comes to advanced tech into urban spaces?
Yeah, sure. The PPP projects are, though there are certain failures also in past, but they are one of the good tool to improve the urban infrastructure. And in eastern part, there's a large population in tier 1, tier 2 town. I think that is the asset. The economy is flowing from the high cost zone to the low cost zone. And the eastern part of India is still the low cost. And people are educated. The large population, educated population, is one of the biggest asset East India is having at its tier 2 and tier 1 town. The economy will automatically flow. The only obstruction might be our policies or our implementation style, but there's all parameter which will help economy to flow in favor of East India.
So when we're talking about urban development, we're talking about sustainability. Now that is a challenge we were discussing backstage as well, that how are these projects sustainable? What are your insights, and what are the things that people should remember and know when the urban planning is happening? What are the insights people should have? Sustainability is a question.
Yeah, cities, they're difficult, but it's still easy to make a new infrastructure, new development. But it's very difficult to maintain it and keep it upgraded with the change of time. And that is called sustainability, how sustainable that is. And the GIS new tool through which we can map each and every property in urban area, linked it with the building plan approval and completion, and property tax linked with that. That will increase the revenue of municipal authorities and electricity department and water supply department. And that will give a sumptuous cushion to invest in upgrading and keeping the city sustainable and growing. And this tool is very well used in Western world and even in Delhi. Delhi is using this technique, offering a 10% discount if you pay your house tax using that platform. You tag your property yourself. There's an app, a GIS-based app, and your property tax is generated and you have to pay. By doing this, the non-paying people who are enjoying the urban infrastructure but they are not paying taxes, they will automatically come in the ambit of taxes. So it will behave in the same way like GST happened. Everything is online, everything data is integrated, and the collection of GST has gone up from 90,000 to 1,90,000 because the implementation is good. The tax is not gone up, the rate of tax is not gone up, but the collection has gone up like that. The economy is also not gone to that level. From 3 trillion to we just become 3.7, 3.8 trillion. But the GST collection has gone up like that. The same thing will happen if the municipal authority use a new technique, new technology, which other cities are also doing, and collect their taxes in a sumptuous way and keep upgrading.
So authorities need to learn from various
cities. I'd like to just
cities.
add one more thing, So sustainability and low-cost housing are a very delicate balance that are always played together when we move towards redevelopment in these kind of areas. And our only take on it should be that whatever is the drop in the ocean that we can do for sustainability, whatever we can push through government policies and more through our own personal initiatives, those would be the drops in the ocean that we will add. And those drops, I could say, over multiple projects, over multiple years, could be the ocean that we finally fill. It cannot be left that there will be one fine day when sustainability will all of a sudden mushroom. It has to start now. In whatever small way, it has to happen now. You may use special kind of floorings, you may use special kind of bricks, you may use special kind of mortars, but they have to be used now.
Yes. The change has to happen now.
Happen now, yeah.
No, I think so. They are right. I think so. Technology plays a bigger part on the entire sustainability part of it, right? As Pradeep was telling, right? We are from road and highways, right? If you see from our perspective, sustainability, right? The moment we have moved from the cash collection to the FASTag piece of it, right? The amount of efficiency and the amount of ease of convenience that has happened to the people, to the customers, right? It has been magnificent, right? One of the biggest innovation, right, in the infrastructure has been the DG Yatra, I think, in the aviation part of it, right? Today, if you look the way you travel, right, the moment you reach an airport, you scan yourself, you go to the, the entire security check, right? We never thought of that part, right? So India today is a hub of innovation, and they are the first adopters rather than the Western world, which was earlier the first adopters, we were the second adopters, right? So that has changed the complete, paradigm of the entire way we look at things now.
And when we're talking about project financing, I'm sure you'll have some insights there. With sustainability becoming a key focus, how is Capital Infratrust innovating financial models to support long-term urban infrastructure projects?
See, I think so, traditionally financing, you can take term loans, you can take other part of it, right? But, it also depends on the quality of asset, right? Quality of developer, right? What kind of counterparty is there? Is it a sovereign party or is it a state government, whatever is there, right? A lot of things go into the project financing part of it. Apart from that, I think so there are two different innovative models that has come out now is the REIT and the InvIT part of it. One is Infrastructure Investment Trust and another is a Real Estate Investment Trust, right? So these are more like a mutual fund kind of scheme, right? Okay, where if you have an asset, completed revenue generating asset, right? You can actually pool them across, right? Generate cash from there. The developer can monetize those assets, right? Redeploy those assets, developing new assets, right? And you continue to generate returns and distribute to the unit holders, right? So these are the two innovative models that have come up now. If you look at today for the last 7 years, in the InvIT space, $10 billion have been pumped into the country, which is not a small amount in around 7 years. But the thing is, it is not broad-based at this point of time because out of the 26 InvITs, 12 InvITs are in the road and highway sector. But we need to see more on the smart urban part of it, the InvITs to come up. Real estate rates has to come up because there are only 4 or 5 rates. But these innovative models needs to be embraced. But I think so, you need a good developer, you need a quality asset, right? And a good backing of the government or the counterparty basically on that.
So when we're talking about smart urbanization, we're talking about development. Mr. Subir Malhotra, your firm handles large-scale constructions. So how do you incorporate sustainable construction techniques?
Sustainability not only comes to us from a design perspective, it is there during the course of actual construction that we have to take care of it. Very interestingly, just the other day, and in Delhi, we are constantly having these huge disruptions in construction because of GRAP 4 being implemented and GRAP 3 being implemented. And just the other day, I came across someone, very interestingly, who says, I have a batching plant which will give you 0 pollution. I was so surprised that such a thing can possibly exist. So sustainability, not only from a perspective of design, on the quality of material that you're using, on the type of material that you're using, but also how you're actually going across non-polluting construction is how it can easily be planned out. Those, I may be sounding repetitive, but those technologies are already there. People are working towards those technologies over here. And that is where we should only bank upon. And trust you me, they are not a big factor as far as cost is concerned. It's only, I think, a matter of, getting some platforms like these together, showcasing those precise technologies and products which are available in the country today, and leading them on to the user.
So everybody talks about urbanization, smart urbanization. We want infrastructure development. We want technology to come in. But is the policy supporting? You have insights there, but do you need policy changes? Does the government need to help you with certain policies to implement certain changes?
Well, let me answer that before I know, he can answer it much better than I can, but in my own limited opinion, I think the government is doing its fair bit for it. There was a time when there was a huge cost differential between products which were, so to speak, sustainable and the regular run-of-the-mill products available in the market today. And that delta has only decreased as we speak over the period of time. I think, like what we are saying on this platform is, the challenge is more towards actually maintaining sustainability as to what he's saying, rather than actually bringing it on board and constructing it. I think you would like to add to that.
Yeah, sure. So there are two parts. First part is what he said, that what technology and what material we are using to build the various infrastructure or buildings of that city. And then second part is how we are maintaining it. Will that building or that infrastructure is sustainable? Will that last for 5 years or 15 years or 50 years? How sustainable that is?
Yeah, that has to be part of a plan.
Yeah. So to make that sustainable, first thing is that the user should have that mindset. अगर हमको अपने शहर को साफ रखना है तो वो तो सिटीजन को करना है, गवर्नमेंट नहीं करेगी. हम ही अगर कूड़ा फैलाएंगे तो we can't expect कि गवर्नमेंट आए और हमारा कूड़ा उठाए.
हम कूड़े का डब्बा रख सकते हैं लेकिन फेंकना तो कूड़े के डब्बे में है ना.
तो
Responsibility citizens की है, correct.
तो टू मेक सिटी सस्टेनेबल, साफ सुथरी सिटी हो, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वर्क करता हो, ड्रेनेज वर्क करता हो, that is the citizens are equally responsible as far as the government is responsible. And then the second part is keep improving that part because everything has a shelf life. You have to either replace it or change it or upgrade it in a frequent interval. For that again you need money and you need mindset. If you have both, then if you go to any good city in if you see Singapore, वो हमेशा नहीं लगती है. Why? Because they have that mindset and they know how to generate money.
So the public right now definitely has a demand,
Yes.
but we have the awareness, but we're not really taking the responsibility to help create sustainable projects as well.
Yeah, so the government and the citizen both are responsible and this is achievable. This is not, this can't be achieved, this is achievable.
I would still say the citizen responsibility is a long way off at the moment, and we as citizens of the country have more responsibility towards that particular aspect than just saying that the government will wake up one day and Swachh Bharat ho jayega, sab saaf ho jayega. No, it is we who have to actually, the last broom has to be picked up by us. And unless and until that awareness transforms into actual action, be it any which way, like the Singapore way, which is just a fine city, so to speak, to any which way that we want to handle it in India, is something that we have to push over here into our own social environment.
If you see Delhi, ring road, inner ring road, within the inner ring road there is NDMC, and out of that ring road is MCD. And you see the cultural mindset and the quality of city
The difference.
difference. So this is possible in Delhi within NDMC area, but not that much possible in MCD area. So both are responsible.
So you need a characteristic approach, right? I think so for Indian citizens, right? You are a part of that, right? Okay. So I'll give you an example, right? FASTag implementation was not an easy task, right? What Gadkari government has done is stupendous, right? Because people were habituated to paying cash, right? And there were a lot of leakages in the system part of it, right? Government came with one date, then they gave a 15 days extension. Then there was a double penalty. Then there was a triple penalty, right? Finally, today around 97% of the toll collection is on FASTag, right? So that's also, I think so, when we talk of the cleanliness part of it, sustainability, living part of it, right? It's not a 1% job, 2% job, right? You need a policy framework around that part of it, right? So there is a, there's a penalty for that part of it, right? When you drive cars, right? There's a speed, overspeed, there's a challan being done, right? So all this contribute to becoming a better citizen, and you, unless there is no penalty on you, right? You don't change yourself, right? So we see a lot of people, they don't want to maintain their own society, right? They feel that it's not my responsibility, it's the other person's responsibility, right? But somehow a policy framework has to come like in roads we have, right? We have to maintain roads for 15 to 20 years, right? And that's our responsibility, right? So we are penalized for that, right? NHI is continuously monitoring us, right? So similarly, I think so we need to have for the housing part, other pieces of it, right? A model concession agreement, something like that, which helps to curb this kind of a menace part of it.
A policy which implements penalizing if you don't follow certain rules, because the citizens are clearly not listening. Even though there is awareness, we're not implementing, we're not taking our responsibility
And road and
seriously.
highways are a very unique example. When you drive a car, there are a lot of cameras now installed, right? You are particular that okay, the camera is there, somebody will catch you, there will be a chance that will come to you, right? Okay. So we are habituated to that kind of living, right?
Yeah.
So unless and we don't change ourselves, the other way is that okay, you use a stick approach, right? And put a policy in place. So slowly, steadily, you'll start seeing that change happening.
So, I want to ask all three of you, if you had to prioritize one smart city feature, we're all talking about smart cities.
Sorry, just repeat that, please.
If you had to prioritize one smart city feature, public transport, housing, or green energy, which would you focus on first?
Housing,
Affordable housing.
affordable housing.
See, all three are interconnected. You can't stay with that, right? first you need a road, right? Public transport has to be the first part, right? Then of course you need green energy, right? Okay. And then of course housing is there. Because housing will come the last. But I think so if you look at the interconnection between all these three, you need all the three at the same
Public
time.
transport's first for you, housing's first for you. As a key feature for smart city, what is your opinion?
Yeah, so transport is very important because if the public transportation is good, then the private cars and private vehicles will reduce, and that will directly, indirectly help in improving your air quality and other. So the public transport is no doubt first priority.
But do you see that as a challenge? Like cities in India which are trying to become smarter cities, do you think they're following this policy? Do you think they're following this route? Is this a challenge?
I think the last mile connectivity is still missing. So people are preferring to use their own vehicle. So if the last mile connectivity is there, then public transport will become more efficient.
There is rapid growth in housing. There is definite growth when it comes to creating houses, housing facilities. But I think public transport is something that is not being focused on.
Yeah, so that need more focus. So the priority is that, and the second is environment, green energy and all these things. So Delhi is a good city, but during October and November and start of December, people prefer to go to Dehradun and other cities to breathe well.
Correct. And what role is AI and technology playing in tackling these challenges in specific regions? Do you have insights there?
So, like he was saying, the GIS for property tax is a great. So, technology is moving under so many various subheads in this particular field, be it from a planning field, be it from a taxation field, be it from an actual construction perspective. Technology is there in all kinds of things. AI is picking up big data and, reading them in various formats, churning out data in more easily readable formats to people. GIS is, picking it up as far as the taxation is concerned. Technology, like I just said, as far as construction is concerned. Just the other day, I met some young kids from IIC Incubation Center, and they talk about robos and drone technology coming in for building construction. And they were like having some really smart ideas the way they were coming up with those ideas. So I would just say that, our people are pushing the frontiers as we speak every day. But there is enough that can be already done within the given, means that are already available in the country.
There are plenty of questions to ask, but we're out of time. Our panel's over. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for this
everybody.
panel.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I kindly request our speakers please stay. Now I kindly request Mr. Samrit Bhattacharya, National Sales Director ABP Network, please join us on the stage for the felicitation.